I'm good, Tamara. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I'm glad we're able to catch up because I do have a few questions for you about NetSuite and the construction industry.
Sure, I'd be happy to answer any questions you have.
Awesome. Okay, let's just jump right into it. Can you shed some light on the common practices in today's construction industry?
Yeah, of course. So today's construction industry has changed a lot over the last year, as has a lot of the world, to be completely honest. But I've found that a lot of the construction companies really want to move into the cloud industry, purely because it's much easier to have one source of information whereby project managers, financial teams, and even the resources on the construction sites can all have access to the information at the same time. And it just removes any kind of time lag for communication and kind of provides companies with a really good transparency into all of their projects and how that progress is going. Some common practices that we've found the industry really likes to focus on in the cloud business is supply chain management. So procurement, installation of services, construction of sites, contracting, possibly even manufacturing in some cases, project management, of course, and just tracking of any kind of records such as contractors, equipment, maybe field plans. Those are the kind of main points that have really come out of the construction industry.
Okay, I'm sure moving from an on-premise system to a cloud system is a big change. So how can ERP Buddies assist today's construction industry in that process?
Yeah, so today's construction industry are really trying to isolate all of their information into one system. What we have found in the past is a lot of customers have different systems for different parts of their business. For example, the accounting, the CRM, and the actual construction and project management seem to be completely separate. And so what we've done here at ERP Buddies is create a module that specifically focuses on the construction and project management piece. And combining this with the native functionality of NetSuite's CRM and accounting functionality, we have a single platform whereby construction companies are able to have all their information together and just kind of reduce any discrepancies that may be occurring from having multiple systems. On top of this, they can also access this live data collaboratively between their teams in different locations or project sites.
Okay, I see. Yeah, I definitely agree there needs to be high collaboration in these different departments and within the company. Communication is crucial. So what types of critical features does this module have? Is there a name for it?
Yeah, so we've actually named the module SuiteBuilding. It's got quite a few features. I'll try and summarize it the best I can today. So just the main kind of 5 features that it consists of is the project management, whereby you are able to actually create projects and record tasks, or in terms of construction itself, there are stages during the construction process. And these project records allow you to track costs, expenses, time and material expenses against those projects and charge them back to customers. Additionally, you can assign resources, both specific employees or subcontractors, as well as being able to just assign a generic resource against the tasks in a project and allow them to deal with what they're responsible for. Project managers are able to go in there and actually track a project, look at a project dashboard and track how the process is going, as well as being able to focus on a financial side as well, as it has its own P&L tab where you can see the margin of costs and invoicing for that project to be able to keep track of it. On top of this, there's also a native functionality to have a baseline from where you first set up the project and monitor how that's going as you progress through the project. You can actually create templates for these projects as well, since if you have hundreds of tasks per project, it could potentially take a very long time to set it up. We have a couple set up as a part of SuiteBuilding based on our past experience within the construction industry, but these can be customized per customer basis, so that when you are going to create new projects, you can just start from a template that has probably 95% of it already set up for you. It also has got job costing, would be the second point. So this is a functionality that allows you to track the costing method of the resources that are assigned to the project tasks. This allows you to just kind of track their costs accurately against each project and be able to charge these back accordingly to customers, as well as being able to track possibly any overhead labor costs that are just a part of the project and not supposed to be directly charged back. This can be set up based on a number of options, whether it be milestones or fixed dates or a time and materials basis. And recently, in a recent update of NetSuite altogether, you can actually just have a combined method of all three of these on the same project. So you can just charge depending on what you need to do. Material and equipment management is another part of the module. So we are able to track the materials as actual inventory items that can be charged back as expenses to the projects. Additionally, equipment can be tracked as assets in the system, which can then be leased out or subcontracted out to a specific project as it's used. This may depend on if the construction company is using contractors or not. And we've taken this into consideration by actually having a contractor management section as well. So your contractors and subcontractors can be set up as records, relationship records in the system. And what this will allow the company to do is actually set them as resources on the tasks so that you can then record the costs back to the customer, but based on maybe the labor rate or the charge that this contractor is using. Now, every record in NetSuite, but also in SuiteBuilding, has a communication tab, as well as a files tab. And what this allows you to do is track any communication chain between you and the subcontractors or you and the customers directly. And these can be stored respectively on the project itself or on the actual relationship record. So you always have this audit trail of any communication that has come up. Now, the files tab kind of moves into my final point, which is around document and compliance management. So the files tab allows you to store any PDFs you need against a project or a contractor. It might be the actual contract of the contractor, so you can store that on there as well. And the access to these can also be controlled throughout the system, so you don't have the wrong person looking into confidential documentation. Inside of the document management, we've set up some field inspection reports, which can be submitted through the NetSuite mobile app or via a portal. And this allows on-site members to be able to submit reports that can then be reviewed by project managers. And so the project manager does not need to actually be on site, and they can just get a kind of project progress report at the end of a week notified to them either through NetSuite or via email, depending on their preference. A couple of other points that are in SuiteBuilding, which I won't go through today, are the generation of retainage or AIA invoices, and also Leon waivers, which are three very kind of construction industry specific documentation or transactions that need to be produced. Those are all within the SuiteBuilding module as well.
Okay, so it looks like our SuiteBuilding solution has a ton of functionalities for the construction industry, from the contractor and subcontractor management to document sharing and document management. Can SuiteBuilding be integrated with other construction management softwares? I know there's Procore, FieldWire, and Autodesk.
Yeah. So it can be integrated with those. As we say with all our customers, as long as the respective software, so Procore or FieldWire, have open APIs, then it is possible for NetSuite to integrate with those in either a one-way or a two-way basis. So that's either the system flowing both ways, or you just have the information coming from Procore feeding into NetSuite itself. Since SuiteBuilding is based on both native NetSuite functionality and custom records that we have set up, they can be constantly modified according to what the customer needs to bring in. So if there's a field in Procore that does not currently exist in the system, it's very easy for us to just add that in and feed it through via the integration. Procore is actually one integration we've done a lot in the past, because a lot of the construction industry is on there at the moment. And it's especially important for areas that NetSuite cannot do, especially any kind of AutoCAD modeling or any visual configurators, which is not a part of our system, but a lot of people like to integrate the results of that into NetSuite.
Okay, that's awesome, and very convenient for business owners. What are your final thoughts that you'd like to share about the SuiteBuilding solution?
I think the final point to make is that SuiteBuilding is one of our newer modules here at ERP Buddies, and it's actually continuously being developed. Since it's an in-house module, it's very easy for us to actually just go in and customize it accordingly, depending on the customer requirements. So as I just mentioned in the previous question, adding a field for Procore to feed that information into, since we own the module, we can just add that field in an ad hoc basis per the requirements. Additionally, kind of the documentation is also on a per project basis. So every company or every customer that we run SuiteBuilding with, it's going to be completely unique to themselves. Everything that's there at the moment is generic to the construction industry as a whole, but we would configure everything to be very personalized on a per instance basis.
Okay, wow. I think these construction companies really need to hop on this NetSuite and Suite solution wave. They'll definitely gain a lot from the benefits, and their operations and their workflows will all be cohesive. Well, Nick, thank you for sharing your expertise with us today, and I hope you have an awesome day. Talk to you soon.
No problem. Thank you, Tamar. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.